In modern manufacturing, making a product that simply works is the bare minimum. Survival requires producing that exact same part within a micron of error, millions of times in a row. Every physical part rolling off an assembly line is assigned a specific target dimension, along with a strict tolerance range dictated by the customer's requirements. This diagram shows a standard metal shaft with a target diameter of 10 millimeters and an allowable variance of 0.5 millimeters. This creates two absolute boundaries, a lower specification limit at 9.5 millimeters and an upper specification limit at 10.5 millimeters. The shaded area in between is the only acceptable zone for production. These boundaries are absolute. Any part measuring outside this zone is scrap. Preventing that loss requires measuring the manufacturing process itself, using statistical process control. No machine operates with absolute perfection. Every physical process experiences slight random variations from one cycle to the next due to vibration, tool wear, or thermal expansion. This curve maps those random variations. To measure how far this production data spreads out from its average center, engineers use a mathematical metric called standard deviation, represented by the Greek letters sigma. The shape of this curve reveals the stability of the machine. A large sigma means the data is widely scattered, indicating an unstable process. A small sigma means the data is tightly clustered, proving the process is highly controlled. In industrial statistics, the total predictable spread of a machine's output is calculated as 6 standard deviations. This full width is known as the natural process variation. To guarantee zero defects, engineers must mathematically prove that this total natural variation fits safely inside the customer's specification limits. We now have two measurements, the allowed tolerance room and the actual variation produced by the machine. We need a way to quantify the relationship between them. This is the Process Capability Index, or Cp. It is calculated by dividing the total tolerance range, the upper limit minus the lower limit, by the natural variation of 6 sigma. Applying this to a dataset, we have an upper specification limit of 50, a lower limit of 40, and a standard deviation of 1.5. The tolerance room is 10. The variation is 9. Dividing yields a Cp score of 1.11. Manufacturing standards use clear benchmarks for this score. A Cp of less than 1 means the process is incapable of meeting specifications. Exactly 1 is borderline. A score of 1.33 or higher indicates a capable, good process. However, Cp only measures potential capability. The mathematics implicitly assume that the production data is perfectly centered between the upper and lower limits. This assumption hides a major blind spot. Processes with highly rated Cp scores can still routinely produce scrapped parts. Watch this chart showing our previously capable process. Over time, machine tools wear down and calibrations slowly drift. This moves the average measurement of the parts away from the target center, pushing the distribution curve toward the edge. Because the spread of the data now bleeding past the upper specification limit, every part in this red zone is a defect that must be scrapped. But the distance between the limits and the standard deviation haven't changed. Therefore, the Cp score remains exactly 1.11, even as the machine creates defects. Relying solely on Cp is an engineering illusion. It measures how tight the grouping of production is, but it ignores where those parts are actually landing on the dimension scale. Quality control requires a secondary index that penalizes a process for drifting off-center, Cpk. The formula for Cpk evaluates the distance from the actual operating mean to each limit individually, dividing by 3 sigma, and then automatically selects the worst-case scenario. Consider a bolt manufacturing line with specification limits of 19 millimeters and 21 millimeters. The machine operates with a tight standard deviation of 0.4, but its actual operating mean is severely off-center at 20.5 millimeters. We first calculate the distance to the upper limit. We divide the 0.5 millimeter gap by 3 sigma, which is 1.2. This yields a score of 0.42. Next, we calculate the distance to the lower limit. The larger 1.5 millimeter gap divided by 1.2 yields a much safer score of 1.25. The CPK formula applies a minimum function. It locks on to the 0.42 score and ignores the 1.25 entirely. The Bolt process had a theoretical potential, a CP of 0.83, but its actual performance score of 0.42 proves the line is failing. The center of production sits too close to the absolute edge of acceptance. To lock in the difference between potential spread and actual centering, look at this driving analogy. The total width of the road represents your specification limits. The side-to-side sway of the car as it travels represents the natural process variation. Imagine a car with tight steering, driving in a narrow straight line. That is a good CP. But if that car is driving on the right shoulder, scraping against the guardrail, it is causing damage. That is a bad CPK. Having a highly capable machine is useless if it isn't steered toward the target. Without centering, you will still crash your manufacturing yields. Because these two metrics measure different attributes, industrial engineers use the combination of Cp and Cpk as a diagnostic tool to fix manufacturing lines. If a line produces low Cp and low Cpk, the machine is too chaotic to meet standards. The intervention is variation reduction. Engineers perform maintenance, source better materials, or retrain operators to stop production data from spreading. If the Cp is high but the Cpk is low, the machine is physically capable, but it is poorly aimed. This requires centering. The spread is already tight, so the line simply requires recalibration to bring the operating mean back to the target value. Process optimization follows a two-step sequence. First, stabilize the chaos to narrow the curve. Second, calibrate the machine to center that curve. Cp will only ever equal Cpk when a production process is perfectly centered on its target. In the industry standard known as Six Sigma, engineers target a CPK of 2.0. With a CPK of 2.0, natural variation is microscopic and centering is precise. Producing a defective part becomes a statistical impossibility. Profitable manufacturing requires stable, capable, and centered processes, rather than a narrow focus on output speed. A successful company engineers the process to guarantee the product.